Charge, ready for the fight. Noble hearts and steadfast pride. Detroit spirit, we wear it white. Feel the drive, hear the crowds embrace. Rock on, Detroit Lions will rise. With a heart full of dreams and the fire in our eyes. From the past to the future, we'll claim our own. In the home of the brave, we'll proudly have grown. In the city, where the road meets the night, the Lions charge, ready for the fight. Noble hearts and steadfast pride. Detroit spirit, we wear it white. Feel the drive, hear the crowds embrace. Rocked on, Detroit Lions will rise. Rocked on, Detroit Lions will rise. With a heart full of dreams and the fire in our eyes. From the past to the future, we'll claim our own. In the home of the brave, we'll proudly have grown. With every game, we rise and unite. Fueling the passion, igniting the light. Through highs and lows, we'll stand as one. Our legacy, a tale that's just begun. Together we roar, together we cry. Rocked on, Detroit Lions will rise. With a heart full of dreams and the fire in our eyes. From the past to the future, we'll claim our own. In the home of the brave, we'll proudly have grown. So let's lift our voices, let's turn it up loud. For the love of the Lions, we'll always be proud.
All right, good morning, everybody. Sorry about being late. We're going to get off and running right away. We're not even going to go through all the morning jazzy stuff. We're just going to get rolling. So do us a quick favor, like, share, and subscribe. We are almost to 10K, which means someone's going to get 2 tickets to a home game to the Detroit Lions this season. And we have not decided on which home game it's going to be, but it'll be a game. Man, this morning I want to start with Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I know this has been talked about for a few days by other outlets. I haven't seen it really on YouTube or anything, really. But I got to thinking about this yesterday. And so my first question to everybody really is, Amon-Ra St. Brown, is he sending the wrong message to the team? We talk about trap games every once in a while. A couple times a year it pops up. Last week, a lot of fans were considering the Browns game to be a trap game. And it could be. If the team is not in the right mindset for any game that they're supposed to win or should win, which there's not one game on this schedule that is a gimme. I don't care who it is. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care who's injured. There are 0 gimmies in the NFL. We've seen it way too many times that a team that is supposed to absolutely destroy a team loses. And we watched the 49ers, again, win last night, a team that should not be winning football games. Won another game and beat the Rams, which, how, right? The Rams have an incredible defense. That is exactly what can happen to the Lions if they do not stay in the right mindset. So we're going to go doom and gloom a little bit to get us started. Let me get Eric in here. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. So I went to Meijer last night and I found this awesome Detroit Lions robe, and I got my Garfield Detroit Lions coffee mug. I'm ready for Rise and Grind this morning.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, man. So the word on the street here, I'm just going to read the article, and then I've got a few things that I want to share. One with Khalif Raymond, that he had some things to say about Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was on Good Morning Football, I believe it was yesterday. But obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown had a fairly decent game against the Browns. It should have been a lot bigger. 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. The 2 touchdowns obviously is huge. We beat the Cleveland Browns 34-10. That game was a little bit tighter than we wanted it to be throughout the first half. But then it came out that Amon-Ra St. Brown has a human side to him, right? And that was late Saturday night before the Sunday game. A post went viral on social media of what appeared to be St. Brown's verified My Player profile, which the only way that you can have this profile is if you are a verified NFL athlete. So NBA 2K26, they give these My Player profiles that are verified a certain like a football or basketball or soccer ball, something above their head. I don't play the game, so I just know that they give them something above their head like a football for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And his name is literally Amon-Ra St. Brown. And so at 4 o'clock in the morning, Amon-Ra St. Brown is up playing NBA 2K26. Okay, 2 schools of thought. Were you up at 4? Or were you up till 4? That's the question that I have. Were you up till 4? Or were you up at 4 getting ready for the day? Now, I wouldn't have an issue if someone was up at 4 o'clock. I mean, I get up 5:30 every single day. Some days are easier to move than others. Today was not one. So I could understand that if he's getting up at 4 o'clock, I wouldn't be surprised by that. On a game day, I would be a little bit surprised. I don't know what their report time is. I don't know if it's still like 8 o'clock in the morning. They have to report to the team facility. And then the second question would be, do they have to stay in the team hotel? Some teams do that, even for away games. And so I just did a little basic research, nothing crazy. And here's what it had said. It said that, some teams do make their players play or stay in the team hotel, even on home games, so that they have consistency and they know what the players are doing. Like, they actually have curfews. So if you didn't know that, yeah, these are adults getting paid millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they have curfews. They can't have girls up in the room. They can't have family up in the room. They can't have visitors up in the room past curfew time, whatever that is, 10 p.m. I hear that number thrown out a lot. 10 p.m. is usually the curfew the night before a game. Now, I don't know if the Lions emphasize staying in the team hotel the night before with your team, or if they allow the players to stay at home for home games. Apparently, they would be home games. They're at home, at their homes in and around Detroit or the suburbs of Detroit. And that's a guess, because I don't know, right? Teams like the Dallas Cowboys, for home games, they allow their players to stay at home. They don't have to stay in the team hotel. Obviously, for away games, they're in the team hotel. So let's do this. Let me go to the Instagram post of Amon-Ra St. Brown playing NBA 2K6. Now, I'm going to have an answer for this. There's a reason why I'm bringing this up. So just stay with me here. I'm not bashing Amon-Ra St. Brown yet. I don't know if I will.
Dan Campbell said recently that our best players are...
That's not supposed to be on there. So Amon-Ra St. Brown gets caught playing NBA 2K at 4 a.m. before game day. And Detroit Sports Daily says, that's how you know Saint is locked in. 18-game win streak at 4:30 in the morning only means he'll be right for today. So what it shows on there, which you can hardly see, is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's in the blue shirt, walking around on the court. And so my question again, first question to you guys this morning is, would you expect this type of mentality the night before a game? Would you expect one of the leaders on the team to be promoting staying up all night if in fact that's what he did do? How do you feel about it? And the reason why I say that is because now we're running into a game this weekend that we should absolutely destroy these guys. But what if we lose this game? What if Amon-Ra St. Brown has a bad game and he's up till 5 a.m. playing NBA 2K26? Well, I would probably blame that. And then what's the message that you're sending? As a leader on the team, are you sending the wrong message to the guy saying, hey, it's okay to do this? We can stay up all night. Look, we're winners, man. We got a team. Look at us, man. We can beat everybody. I just stayed up till 4 a.m. You could do it too. Why am I saying that? Because these guys look up to Amon-Ra St. Brown. They believe in what he does. They believe in the energy that he puts out. They believe in the pregame treatment that he does and all the pregame stuff that he does, everything that he does throughout the week to get ready for a game. They believe in that stuff. Isaac Tesla latched on immediately to Amon-Ra St. Brown and started catching balls after every practice. The reason why I say that he is so adorned by the rest of the team. Let's listen to what Khalif Raymond had to say. And then when I'm all done with this, Eric, I'll get your thoughts. But let's hear what Khalif Raymond had to say about Mr. Amon-Ra St. Brown. There we go.
Dan Campbell said recently that our best players are our hardest workers, the guys that practice the hardest. I'm curious, if you had to pick one, who's the hardest working, hardest practicing player on your entire roster?
Amon-Ra St. Brown, and it's not even close. He sets the standard. Wow. No, and I mean, I pride myself on putting everything, turning over every stone, making sure I can put my best foot forward. And this man catches 202 passes after every game. After every practice, no matter what. In the last 5 years I've been here, I haven't seen him miss once. He does his 200 ads after every workout, hasn't missed once. He has a tennis ball thing he does on Mondays, 500 over the shoulder, everything he's doing, hasn't missed once. He is bionic. But everything that you're seeing on the way that he does on film, between the catches, the routes, all that stuff, it is not by chance because he leaves nothing to chance. He's the hardest worker I've ever seen to this point. And I'm nervous to train with him off season because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to keep up. So, he's the real deal.
All right, now let's get into what Amon-Ra St. Brown said on his podcast.
Run me through that. There's some controversy I seen on social media about you playing 2K at 4 a.m. before the game. What was that about?
Yeah. I can't confirm or deny if I was on 2K at 4 a.m. Do love playing 2K though. So it was definitely was a trap game. You could say, I guess. Okay. But we came out on top. We got the dub. It was a good game.
Okay. Let me play that again.
Run me through that. There's some controversy I seen on social media about you playing 2K at 4 a.m. before the game. What was that about? Yeah.
I can't confirm or deny if I was on 2K at 4 a.m. Do love playing 2K though. So it was definitely was a trap game. You could say, I guess. Okay. But we came out on top. We got the dub. It was a good game.
Okay. Now, that's just a small clip, but he said, whoa, I shouldn't be playing. Sorry about that. But he said that's the downfall of having everything fixed, Eric. It's really never fixed. He just said in there himself that he can't confirm nor deny whether he was playing. No big deal. We got the dub. It was a trap game. Laughing about it. Instead of just coming out and saying, hey, no, it wasn't me, man. It wasn't me. I wouldn't do that. He jokes about it instead. Now, you guys know that I definitively I've always supported Amon-Ra St. Brown. I've always felt like he's the best thing, for this team, has been for a long time. And And these types of things, when they pop up, it's not easy to watch. It's not easy to see, this type of stuff happen, because if it continues to happen, it's what I've always said, man. You pay these guys a bunch of money. They think that they're the best thing since sliced bread. And then all of a sudden, things start to collapse. I'm not saying that that's going to happen for Amon-Ra St. Brown. But what I am saying is if this was him, because right now he has not admitted nor denied. I did not hear anywhere on his podcast where he said it was his friend playing for him. Didn't hear that at all. But the fact that he joked about this and said, yeah, it was a trap game, but we got the win. That's not the right attitude for me. I'm sorry. And yeah, Salty, look, it's not about who cares he's an adult. That's not it at all. He is an adult. He can do whatever the hell he wants to do. But if he starts to come out and have bad games, this is what we're going to think about. He was up till 5 a.m. playing NBA 2K again. Oh, J-Mo had a really bad game the other day. Was he up playing 2K with Amon-Ra St. Brown till 4 a.m.? You see where this goes in a hurry? You see the rabbit hole that we can go down quickly, and how the media is going to run with this? I'm surprised it's not even bigger than what it has been. And maybe I just missed a lot of it. But to me, this is a problem if they don't nip it in the bud right now. It's a problem. He knows how good he is. Right? It's evidenced by his stats. It's evidenced by every day that he goes to practice. It's evidenced by the players. Khalif Raymond, who said he's the hardest working man on the team. There is no doubt to any of that. None whatsoever. Zero doubt. All it takes is one little minor thing throughout the week that throws you off. See, these guys are creatures of habit. That's what they are. That's why they play the way that they play. They eat the same thing. They poop at the same time. They drink the right stuff at the same time every day. They work out at the same time every day. They take showers at the same time. Everything is on schedule. Everything. Why do you think a timing offense works? It's on schedule. It's on time. The minute you screw up your timing, simply, I didn't get the right sleep. I went to bed an hour late. Could screw you up. You guys know that. I mean, as adults, you know that, right? If you screw something up during the week, it could screw you up for the rest of the week. So it has me a little bit worried that Amon-Ra St. Brown, if this is true, remember, if I can't confirm nor deny whether it is or not, but he didn't do enough to dispel the rumors for me. Eric, what are your thoughts?
Well, two things. First, for anyone that's married, let's say your wife made a delicious dessert and put it in the fridge, and you two are the only two people home, and your wife opens the fridge and there's a big slice missing out of that dessert, and your wife comes up to you and says, "Did you eat that dessert that I just made? I was saving that for Thanksgiving," or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you look her straight in the face. "No, honey, I didn't do it." And you're laughing while you do it. That's how Amon-Ra came off to me. So to me, it seems he's a little bit guilty, and he's not a very good liar. And but it's an innocent thing, it's not something. It's not a serious thing. And then two, imagine for a minute, if you will, that Jameson Williams came over to Amon-Ra St. Brown's house on Saturday night. He stayed the night with Amon-Ra, and they stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning looking at the playbook for plays against the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Amon-Ra falls asleep. J-Mo, he's too worried about the game. He wakes up. He can't go back to sleep, and he plays Y2K or whatever it is for an hour or so until Amon-Ra gets up and they go to Ford Field to play the game.
Y2K?
Yeah, whatever it is. I don't know the name of this game. And let's imagine for a second that it comes out that it was J-Mo that was the one that was actually playing under his account. And then J-Mo went on to have the game that he had. how many fans would be jumping all over JMO for doing that a night before the game because he came out and had a shitty game versus the Browns.
He certainly
That's the
did.
double standard we have here in Detroit right now for our players. So I think that's a bigger issue than whether or not Amon-Ra stayed up till 4 a.m. playing a game, or he got up at 3:59 when his alarm clock goes off every day and he decided to get in a quick game before he went and took a shower and kissed his wife goodbye for the day.
Yeah. I mean, I see the comments like Joe Schmo, like I get it. Like you're saying, okay, because he had production in the game, we're going to excuse it, right? That's like saying I robbed a bank, but because I didn't get caught, that's okay. That's exactly what that's saying. It's saying because I took some steroids before the game, didn't get piss tested, went out and had 10 for 10, 200 yards and 3 TDs. I got away with it, so that's okay. It's exactly what you're saying. Now, this isn't between you and I, right? This is, I'm trying to look at this objectively, and at the same time, how could this infect or become a problem for the team? Look, ladies and gentlemen, we've been waiting a long time for a Super Bowl, have we not? We've been waiting a long time to have a winning ball club. We have it. And we have it because of guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's the exact reason why we have it. We have it because these guys do the right thing day in, day out. One little thing will not blemish that, right? But it's that one little thing that could turn into a habit. Okay, we are creatures of habit, like I said. So here's where I'm gonna step off of this in just a moment. If you are in your head, you know that you're the best at what you do, and you just, whether he did or did not do this, let's say he did. What if now before every week he decides to hang out to 4 o'clock in the morning? Eventually, that will catch up to you. Eventually, it will become a problem. You might get away with it one time, maybe even 2 or 3 times. What about the playoff game? What about the Super Bowl? All right, what if you do it then and then you lose? The first thing you're going to do as a player is you're going to go look at yourself in the mirror and go, why the hell did I just do that? I was too tired. I wasn't locked in. Now, look, a lot of us suffer from anxiety or pain like I do. I wake up 4 or 5 times a night. Okay? I'm in a ton of pain every night because my body's just broken. So I get waking up and not being able to go back to sleep. I get that sometimes you have racing thoughts. You're thinking about what you're going to do for the show the next day, and you've got all these different things running through your head, and you may not be able to get back to sleep. And there's times I'll just start working at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning and force myself to get tired enough to go back to sleep, and then still wake up at 5:30 and be ready for the show. You guys would never know that. You know now. Happens all the time. But I'm not out there performing for $20 million, right? I'm out here performing for free. It's a different story. Totally different story, right? Different circumstance. You got billions of dollars on the line here. You got a player that has one of the largest contracts in the game, and he is the leader of these guys, and what he does is what they will do. Do you guys remember this? A lot of you are old enough in this chat to know that you are who you hang with, right? Remember your parents telling you that? Remember your teachers telling you that? Hey, you probably shouldn't hang out with that guy because he's not a good kid. Remember, they're going to view you. You are who you hang with. Doesn't mean that it's true, but that's how you're viewed. And unfortunately, in today's world, there's too much viewing going on in each other's lives because of social media. We know everything that's going on now because of social media. So all I want to do is bring this up and address it. Someone dropped it in the mailbag, and I started running away with it last night. That, okay, let's address it. Let's just see what it's all about. Let's just hope it's a non-issue. But Eric, I never even thought about that. Like, Could it have been somebody else that was on the team that was using his account? Could have been. I have no idea. But you know what? J-Mo certainly did have a bad day. And that could certainly explain it. Right? But not saying that that's him either. But you're darn right, man. If it was him and that came out, oh boy. Detroit would melt down on top of J-Mo over that. 1,000%. They're like you guys are doing right now. You're going to give Amon-Ra St. Brown a pass because he's been great, locked in for 4.5 years. But you know what? Maybe he just wasn't ever caught before. Maybe this is the first time somebody caught him playing instead of him playing in a private room, which is where he should be. He wasn't playing in a private room. If he was playing. If it was him. So he just didn't do enough for me to dispel it. Amon-Ra, you better have 200 yards on Sunday. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, dude. Now you better come out swinging. I see the guys like Isaac Tesla and Khalif Raymond. You know, they believe in this dude, and I mean, all of us believe in Amon-Ra St. Brown too. So, just keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, there won't be any problems. Won't be any problems.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is off to a historic start to the season. He is. Yeah, he's going to be putting up some pretty amazing numbers if he takes what he did over the first 4 games and multiplies that over the season. He's going to be doing pretty darn good.
I don't know about that.
I saw something the other day that he'd have his best season ever if he keeps his pace.
But his best season is just over 1,001 yards.
No, he had 1,400 yards.
Well, who did?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I thought you said J-Mo.
No. Amon-Ra St. Brown. So if he keeps this pace, Amon-Ra St. Brown is off to a historic pace. He really is. And, you know, getting 2 touchdowns a game, basically. And just imagine if he wasn't playing video games, could he be that much better?
If he was, right? So
yeah,
right now he's only targeted to get 1,300 yards.
Well, still, that's amazing.
I mean, it's a good season, but it's not his best season. His best season was over 1,500.
But doesn't he have 6 touchdowns so far?
He does.
You take 6 and multiply that times 4. That's 24 touchdowns. That's a pretty darn good season, right?
No, he's on pace for 25.5.
Well, still 25.5. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he's on pace for 20, which is incredible. It absolutely is. 27 receptions, so he's on pace for over 100 balls again this year. 11.4 yards per reception is damn good, especially for what they, people call just a slot merchant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just disappointing to see this. All right, bit of NFL news here. We'll step away from this, and then I'm going to talk about Ahmed Hassanin. It looks like there was some confusion potentially on what's going on with Ahmed Hassanin. So I'll give you a little bit of an update on him. But Deshaun Elliott, former Detroit Lion, told the NFL to count your effing days after he received a uniform fine. Elliott told the league, count your effing days in an Instagram story post that showed a memo from the NFL informing him that he was being fined. The NFL appeared to discipline Elliott for wearing, get this, an unapproved black towel, which was the verbiage used in the picture of the memo that he posted on social media. Count your effing days. Y'all worried about the wrong things. Elliott captioned the post. He said, let's fix the things that actually mean something. Elliott also tagged the NFL and the NFL Players Association. And in this, he said that the league rulebook states, quote, towels provided they are white only. Licensed towels approved by the league office for the use on the playing field. Players are prohibited from adding personal messages, logos, names, symbols, or illustrations. A player may wear no more than one towel. Players are prohibited from discarding on the playing field any loose towels or other materials used for wiping hands and the football. Streamers or ribbons, regardless of length, hanging from any part of the uniform are prohibited. Now, we see players throw the towels all the time, right? They fall on the field, and there's not enough time to get it and get it put back on, and they'll toss it, or the ref will toss it. I don't see people getting fined for that, but they're going to fine him for using a black towel. and not a white towel. Eric, is the league's purview on the main issues here? I mean, is it pointed in the wrong direction?
It sounds like towel racism to me.
I just think it's absolutely asinine.
Yeah,
that we're worried about a freaking towel here.
Well, that's like they worry about what shoes they wear or if their socks aren't pulled up. The thing I couldn't believe was like last week. Okay, we're going to talk about J-Mo again. J-Mo had an undershirt that was all ripped up and it looked like he'd worn it for 15 practices.
Yeah,
and
I hate how he does that. I hate how he does that.
Yeah, it was way too big and it was cut off. You could tell he cut it with a pair of scissors, and that was just something for guys to hang on to grab, and they did. They grabbed it. He should have had a pass interference penalty called for him, and it wasn't. And the guy's like, tugging on that T-shirt. But if he doesn't wear that T-shirt, there's nothing to tug on. So I see it from both ways. But the NFL is very, very it's their way or the highway when it comes to uniforms in the NFL. There is no leeway almost whatsoever.
Which, I mean, I get. I mean, they've got a brand to protect. I understand that. They've given everybody the guidelines on what they can and can't do, so they know what's allowed and what's not allowed. The simple thing over, the color of a towel, like, what are they What are they damaging here?
Yeah.
Like, okay, if it should say, in my opinion, which is not always correct, right? Why wouldn't it just say that the towel has to match the uniform colors?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a lot easier?
Well, don't you remember before, every time we hit the month of October, they were allowed to wear pink gloves, pink shoes, a pink towel, a pink mouthpiece. They could do whatever they wanted as long as it was pink, Yeah,
it's for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah, I see no problem with that whatsoever. I would think that the NFL would have.
Yeah, those are guidelines that the NFL is already approved, though.
Yes, but they don't do it anymore. That's over with. Now they do my cause, my cleats instead. So they can wear a funky pair of shoes that somebody painted for them, or a funky colored pair of shoes one game in October. And I think they've taken some of the fun out of it for the players. But, I would think that the NFL would have more of a problem with things like having a bright green mouthpiece that you stick in your helmet that Brian Branch does. Maybe that's why he gets so many penalties, is because he makes it so easy for them to tell who he is, and they don't like that, and they want him to stop doing it, and that's their way to make him stop doing it. I don't know. Maybe that's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. That's a bit of a stretch. But I did forget to play one thing about Amon-Ra St. Brown, because we're talking about mentality. We're talking about, being ready for the game and everything else. So I do want to bring in Amon-Ra St. Brown's video here on mentality. But before I do that, Ahmed Hassanin. So there was some confusion, I guess, as to what's going on with Ahmed Hassanin. Now, it took us a little bit to kind of get this right, to understand how this actually works. So let me see if my brain is going to work this morning. Ahmed Hassanin he had an injury settlement with the Detroit Lions. So the way that this worked is when he was released, right? He was released with an injury settlement, which means, here, let me pull up my notes on it, which means that he essentially became a free agent for 24 hours, if I understand the rule correctly. He became a free agent for 24 hours, and then when he was not picked up, he reverts back to the Lions IR. At that point, the Lions had 5 days to initiate an injury settlement, and then no matter what, he would revert back to the IR. The injury settlement was done. I still never really heard the number of weeks, and I think that someone put out there it was 7 or 8 weeks for Ahmed Hassanin's injury settlement. Plus, you have to add 3 weeks on top of that. So the way that I understand this is during the first 7 or 8 weeks, he can't be touched, right? He's essentially released. And then during the 3 weeks that the injury settlement is done, the Lions cannot touch him. He's a free agent. He can go sign with any team that he wants to sign with during those 3 weeks. After that, then he can go back to the Lions. Now, he's not under waiver, right? The waiver was the first 24 hours when he was released. So that's done and over with. He can't just be picked up. He has to agree to the contract. Remember James Houston, when he was let go, he was released, right? It was kind of the same thing. He became a free agent again. And so the Lions brought him back on a 2-year deal, but he ended up becoming a free agent again. So it's kind of similar. It's still a bit different, but let's get Jeff's explanation. Just to make sure we're 1,000% clear. All right. So according to Jeff, it says an injury settlement is the financial agreement between a team and a player who's injured but not expected to miss the entire season. It allows the team to, 1, release the player instead of placing him on injured reserve, pay him for the estimated recovery time plus a few extra weeks, free up a roster spot immediately without using one of the team's limited IR return designations. The key mechanics to this are the team and the player agree on how many weeks the injury will sideline him. The player is paid the salary for that duration. After the settlement period ends, the player becomes a free agent and can sign with any team, including the original team, after the waiting period. So Ahmed Hassanin who suffered the pec injury, instead of placing him on IR that would have locked him out of the season, the Lions waived him with the injury settlement on cutdown day. The strategic reasoning was, instead of placing him on IR before final cuts, Hassanin would have been ineligible to return in 2025. If placed on IR after making the 53-man roster, he could return, but would have cost a roster spot and burned one of the Detroit Lions' precious IR to return designations, which obviously we know how important those are. And by waiving him with the settlement, Detroit avoided locking him out for the year, preserved the roster flexibility, and retained the option to re-sign him later. And that's it. When can he return, which is the biggest question. So yes, he can return. After the settlement period plus 3 weeks, Hassanin becomes eligible to re-sign with the Detroit Lions or any other team. Most insiders expected him to rejoin the Lions, likely on the practice squad once healthy. So expect him to be back. Obviously, Brad Holmes came out and said the same thing, that Ahmed Hassanin was expected to be back. They must have a clear path, understanding, agreement that he wants to be back. And he doesn't want to go anywhere else. But I'm not expecting to be surprised. And no, I have not heard anything through Corey or anyone else. But expect him to be back. And that's it. But they'd have to wait 3 weeks after the injury settlement is done. Week 12, week 11, week 10, I would say that that's probably where we are. Thoughts, concerns, questions?
Well, I kind of like this. So we're looking somewhere between week 10 and week 12. That would be Washington, Philly, and New York. So you get him back sometime, let's say, we'll call it the early side, week 10 against Washington. You get to plop him on your practice squad. You get to start bringing him in slowly, and he's going to be back as long as he's physically ready by then, which I'm hoping he is. He didn't need surgery. So it would be really nice to see him come back to the team. Week 10, maybe you get 2-3 weeks in of practice. Maybe you need him, maybe you don't. Maybe we get to the Giants game and you can throw him in a little bit. Maybe you get to the Packer game and you can try him a little bit. But maybe, just maybe, you don't even need him and you just leave him on the practice squad and let him practice and mature. And then next year, he's ready to go. And one thing they're going to have to do, they're going to have to sign him to a new contract, correct? So it's probably going to be like a 2-year deal or something. And I wonder what that is going to end up
I'm sorry,
being.
what did you say? What his new deal is going to be?
Yeah, so he's going to have a new deal.
Yeah, I mean,
He doesn't just get his rookie deal for 4 years.
no.
So he's going to have to get a whole new deal. It's going to be just like the James Houston thing. It's basically the same thing as we did with Houston.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think they're going to want to lock him up a little bit longer. It's not like it'll probably mimic the value of the rookie deal, but I doubt that it would be any more guarantee to it. But then again, Ahmed Hassanin, he's kind of playing from a position of like maybe he holds all the marbles, I guess, to a degree. Kinda. I guess what I mean by that is if the Lions really do think that there's something to him in his future as a Lion and his ability to play the game, which means that he would have had to have impressed during camp and the little bit of preseason that he got in, then, maybe they will give him another 4-year deal. But I doubt it would be, obviously it wouldn't be any more than that, and they probably wouldn't overcommit on the guarantee. I think it's going to be very much in line with what he had signed originally. If I'm Ahmed Hassanin, though, I'm going to want a little bit more protection, for injury. If that were me, I would want a little bit more protection. It's not a game of if, man. You know this. It's a game of when. These guys are going to get injured.
And Hassanin is a fan favorite. He was a favorite of mine, a favorite of yours, right off the get from the draft. And, we ended up having his brother Corey here on the show for a little while. And, we all feel very invested in this kid. So having him come back would be a nice little feather in our cap for this season, especially if we do go on to win a Super Bowl or have a really deep run in the playoffs. And maybe he gets a play or two in. It'd be really nice to see him. I really wanted to see what this kid could do. This is kind of like with Zadarius Smith. Everyone wanted to see what it was going to be like with Zadarius Smith and Hutch out there at the same time. I really wanted to see what it was going to be like with Hassanin and Hutch out there at the same time.
Yeah. I would love to see that too. Eventually. We'll see it. I'm really liking what AQM is bringing to the table. And there was something that I had this morning, and I've got to find it. But let's listen to St. Brown for a moment, what he's talking about, his mentality going into the week. And while we're listening to this, I've got to find this this article that someone was talking about our edge position. And there was a lot of good stuff in there from the coaches. So let me get that in. All right, here's Amon-Ra St. Brown. Just got to get the audio turned on to it real quick.
It's a group that, probably.
What you might face in Cincinnati with guys like Dax Hill and Jordan
Battle.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're a good group. I think they play hard. It's a group that, probably I feel like maybe hasn't played their best maybe the past few weeks, but it's the NFL. They're going to come out. They're going to be ready. They're probably, media is saying things about the Bengals, this, that, and the other, but I'm sure they're going to come out ready to play. So we got to be ready. At the end of the day, I feel like they're still a well-coached team. Their offense is explosive. They got explosive players. So I feel like just with that offense that they have, they're in every game, no matter what the score is. So we have to be, we got to be ready to play.
When does momentum start to get real for this team?
For us? It's a good question. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we might have some right now already. We just got to keep stacking weeks, good days, each and every day preparing, and then taking it week by week. I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's what we did last year. Was just focusing 1 week at a time, and then once you conquer that week, you move on to the next one. So I think for us, it's just trying to stay focused on what we have ahead of us, which is the Bengals. Take care of this game, and then just keep going from there.
We talked talked to John Morton today, and obviously he's been around a long time, coached a lot of great players, Jerry Rice included, and Tim Brown, but he said you are the most complete wide receiver he's ever been around. Just hearing something like that from a guy who's been around the league a long time, what does that mean?
It means a lot. Like you said, I mean, he's been around Jerry Rice. I don't know how complete I really am, but he's, he shows a tape of, Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, all the dudes that he's been around. And so he's seen a lot of ball, like you said. So to have him say that, it means a lot, just because of the amount of football that he's coached, the amount of guys he's been around. But for me, it's, it's nice to hear things like that, but I gotta keep doing it every day, keep proving it each and every week. I feel like I have guys around me and on this team that push me, coaches that push me. So I'm just grateful to be, in this position.
Did you have that conversation with you? Did he tell you that? That he thinks you're one of the best he's ever been around, or the best he's been around?
Yeah, I actually have a funny story. This is the Packers, like week 1. We're doing 7-on-7 before the game, and he stands next to me and he tells me something similar like that. And in my head, I'm like, "Did you coach Jerry Rice? There's no way I'm the best." But yeah, he told me that one time before the Packers. But like I said, it means a lot. It means the world. But I got to keep proving it, man. Just because he says it now, it doesn't mean much if I can't keep doing it.
Is Jerry the best in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, you look at his stats, his numbers, his film. I see tape of him on the Seahawks when he's like 40 years old, routing dudes up. It just reminds me of like LeBron James of football. With the longevity that he did it at, I don't think anyone's ever going to touch the numbers that he has. So he's definitely, the best receiver to ever play, just, statistically, and just how long he was able to do it. So he's the greatest.
Morton did joke, though, that Walsh was never asking Jerry to block. So that's where it comes in,
Yeah.
You get the blocking aspect of it as the big kudos there.
That's funny.
Are you still adjusting to, on a personal level, that everybody just being in every little thing you do? You get on a video game, you do anything. Like, how has that aspect been as you continue to ascend in your career, where everybody poking at every little thing that you do off the field?
Yeah, I like to have fun with it. There's trolls on internet, on Twitter, everywhere, so I can be a troll myself sometimes, I feel like. So, I'm human too, so I like to have fun. But, just to a level of professionalism that, you have to have and that I have to have. But at the end of the day, you get a win. I feel like if you play well, you get a win. You're allowed to have some fun. And for the record, I wasn't actually on 2K. That was not me. That was one of my buddies playing on my account. So, but it's just, like you said, I do anything, I walk left. But it's fun. I think the fans make this game, exciting. They're there every week. They support us. They cheer us on. So without them, I feel like this game is nothing.
Since you've been in the league, Jared's only missed, I think, 2 games. And so, how important has that been to your success, knowing that you have that a starter of his quality going week after week is available? Obviously, Cincinnati, is down a little bit, obviously, because of Joe being out. But, just knowing that you got your guy, and you can count on him week after week.
Yeah, I think it means a lot. Like I said, I think I told you guys this before. I feel like Jared is, one of the toughest players we have on our team. He's there every practice. He's never misses anything. Even if he's hurt a little, he's out there going because he knows how important, he is to us, and he wants to be out there for us. So having a guy like Jared, I think you give kudos to the O-line too. I think they do a great job, and the running backs, tight ends, protecting him week in and week out. But he does a great job of getting rid of the ball. He protects us as receivers. I don't think that's talked about enough. I don't think since I've been here, I don't think he's ever thrown me into like a big hit since I've been here. Yeah, so he takes care of us. He's smart, and he's like I said, one of the toughest guys on the team. So when he's available, I think he allows us he gives us a chance to win each and every week.
You got a pretty dynamic receiving core here. What do you think of the Bengals duo? I don't know, just being a fan of the game, how much you enjoy watching Chase and Higgins play?
Yeah, I love watching them play. I think they're one of the best duos in the league. So, whenever they're on, if it's a primetime game or a game that I have a chance to watch, I love to watch them play. I love to watch all receivers that are, that I feel like are pretty good, just to watch them play, see what they do. Every offense, I feel like, runs different stuff. You get to learn different things. Chase, actually, he came out in my class, was with me at the opening, so I've known him kind of through high school, but and T. Higgins, I mean, I feel like the stuff that he does, you just can't teach. He's 6'4", can jump out the roof. I mean, tall, can run. So he just makes, I mean, insane plays. So I think they complement each other really well. And I'm excited to, you know, be out there on Sunday with them.
There was once a time in your career where you took so many of those matchups personally. Just being where you at right now, how do you feel matching up? You just enjoy the competition aspect? Is it still personal for you?
I wouldn't say it's personal, but I still, you know, I want to go out there and compete. If they go out there, you know, I feel like they make a big play on offense. All right, now it's my turn. I got to go make a big play, or me and Jamo or whoever, the receivers got to go make a play. So I feel like that's every receiver, though. Anytime you got another, you know, guy on the other side, that's pretty good. He's balling out. You want to go and ball out too. So I think it makes the game fun. When I'm not playing, I get to sit down and see what they do, see what our defense does. So it just makes it fun and competitive.
John Morgan wasn't the only one to pay you a compliment this week. We talked to Scotty, and he said your mentality reminds him of MJ and Kobe. Are those guys that maybe you specifically modeled your kind of mentality when it comes to sports after?
Yeah, actually, Kobe's he was my idol growing up. I'm still a Lakers fan, but he's the reason why I became a Lakers fan. Just watching, you know, Kobe being from California, just the way he went about his business, you know, what he calls the Mamba mentality, whatever it is. I feel like Kobe just approached the game the right way. So that was my idol growing up. I love Kobe. And my dad told me, you know, I wasn't old enough to watch MJ, but he said Kobe reminded him of MJ. So I guess Kobe stole a lot of it from MJ. So, I mean, that's a compliment that, you know, I'll never take for granted. But like I said, I got to keep proving it each and every day.
Scotty also said, talking about you, that what impresses him with you is that, like, you can turn perceived weaknesses into strengths. Now in year 5, has that become, like, more difficult? Or there's not too many weaknesses left to improve?
I feel like there's always room for improvement. Every year, every week, you try to find ways to get better. I think that's what makes this game so great, is you can really never be perfect. You try to be perfect, but you can't be perfect. So for me, it's like I'm always trying to find ways to get better, whether it's, you know, in and out of my breaks, releases, the catch point, run after catch, understanding coverages. You know, there's so many little things that go into, I feel like, the game of football that you can always get better. There's always ways to get better. And even if you think, you know, you've mastered everything, you probably haven't.
Saint, before you go, could I get a better explanation on this outcome, please?
I don't know who. I think he was probably playing his buddy. That wasn't me. He's trolling. I don't even, like, I think that's his player, but I don't know who that is. So he probably was just, you know, upset that I was up at 4 a.m. playing 2K, getting my rep up.
Jim, talk to me about the approach this week. Cincinnati.
Okay. Couple of things here. Couple of things. Let me get out of this. Number one, let me address Hasper in the comments. Amon-Ra said specifically it was a troll. No, there was no troll. What he said, you just heard at the end of this conversation. He didn't say a troll just did this to anybody and then put it out there. And then at the very end, what did he just say? He was disappointed that I was up at 4 a.m. playing 2K. But in the beginning, he said that he was not up. It was his friend playing the game for him. This was supposed to be played after the first segment. So there's a few things in here that don't make sense. One, he's saying that he wasn't up, then he's saying that it was him. The troll part is that he thinks that someone is obviously upset that he was up getting his reps up. That's all he said there. But most importantly, this whole mentality thing going into the week, he says a few things that we expect from this team. One, you got to stay locked in. You got to stay locked in on the Bengals and the Bengals only. The Bengals have an explosive offense. So, Eric, this whole week, the one thing that I keep saying about this game, a lot of people think we're going to hang 50 on them. A lot of people think we're going to win by 30 plus. I just don't have that same thought. And Amon-Ra St. Brown just said, these guys stay in games. They have an explosive offense. Yeah, their defense might be crap right now. I mean, clearly it is. So, yeah, our offense should be able to score points. But they still have an explosive offense. They still have Higgins and Chase. And all you need to do is get the ball to one of them, and they can make a play. don't think that they're going to be able to run the ball. So if Calvin Shepard does his job and he's able to lock in and keep, to keep the explosive plays out of the offense for the Bengals, then yeah, we should be able to shut both sides down. Terrion Arnold is trending towards playing. Not sure if he's going to play. But there's a lot of people that aren't even happy with his play right now anyway. So what makes you feel comfortable that Terrion Arnold's going to be able to do enough, especially against Chase or Higgins, if he hasn't been able to do much throughout the season so far? So I don't like. There's too much. I don't even know how to say it. It's like 1 minute everyone's bashing Arnold, and then the next minute before the Bengals game, because he might be our only corner that's left available to play potentially, they can play at a high level. Now all of a sudden they're jocking his nuts and say, "Oh, but TA's going to be in. He's possibly going to play." I don't understand that. I really don't. It's either you in on the guy, or you're out on the guy. Do you like him or do you not like him? Do you think he's going to play at a high level or do you not think he's going to play at a high level? Personally, I think TA's struggling a little bit, and I think he can play at a high level when he needs to. And I think that he has struggled in some of these games. It's also early. It's really early right now in the season to be evaluating what he's going to end up being throughout his course of his career. It's his second season, and it's his second defensive coordinator, second cornerbacks coach, similar system, almost identical, but it does take a little bit of time, right? Especially for a corner anyway. I think he's going to be fine, over time. But no, I wouldn't say if you wouldn't put TA in on Chase right now that he's going to be able to lock him down at all. I think Chase will probably go for 100. If you had Joe Burrow in there, it could be catastrophic. But thankfully, we don't have him in there right now. Yeah, and like Nate says there in the chat, so Slay didn't do a whole lot for his first 2 years. Yeah, it took 2 or 3 before Slay started to play pretty well. So Eric, I guess on those first few points, stay locked in, focus on the Bengals, and then he talks about the explosiveness of their offense. How do you feel about that? And then I'll ask about Jerry Rice.
Yeah, I'm right with him there. The Bengals they're a sleeping tiger. They could very well do quite a bit. So I did a little research yesterday, and I saw some stuff come out about the coach for the Bengals saying he's not going to change anything. He's not going to do a big shakeup. He's not going to change the way he coaches. He's not going to put in different personnel. He has the people that he thinks can win games, and he has full support of Browning, and he's getting slayed in the media for how much he supports Jake Browning. And listen, it could all flip on a dime. It could change in an instant. And as far as TA goes, you take those 2 penalties away against other players, not against TA, that wiped out both of his interceptions that he would have had, and then tell me what his season outlook looks like now. If TA had 2 interceptions, and those would have been big ones in the game at both times that those would have happened, you'd be looking at his season as a whole through a whole different lens. Just those 2 plays. So he's really close to having a really good season. I know he had a couple ticky-tacky plays, little handsy down there near the end zone. He's going to get that figured out. Like Will and I said last year, maybe we just got to buy him some of those orange oven mitts that the guys on the sidelines wear, to let them know when it's time to go back from commercial break and stuff. We just got to go borrow a set of those and put them on TA, and we're good to go. He's good to go.
Like they use in the on the tarmac.
Yeah,
at the airports.
Big orange gloves.
That's
hilarious.
We're
gonna get a set of those for TA.
Dude, I'm not sending him no gloves like that. He would. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. It would be hilarious, but it wouldn't. It wouldn't be good. All right, he talks about Jerry Rice. Now, I had the fortunate ability to watch Jerry Rice growing up.
Times.
Man, what a special athlete he was. And he played during, I mean, some of the most vicious styles of defense. You could not go across the middle back then without expecting. I mean, you're expecting to get laid out. And he did. Like a lot of other players did too. But back then, defense was way different. The NFL was way different. And I think that I've said this before, like each decade, it seems like the NFL changes just enough, to where it's a different game. It seems like every decade there's some things that are happening every 10 years with rules changes. I mean, part of it, I think, is the collective bargaining agreement. I think that changes like every 5 years or so, or 8 years. I don't remember, but it's at least 5. So if you kind of go by the collective bargaining agreement, when the rules changes start to kick in, and then every year there's a couple of rules that get adopted, changed, ratified, whatever. So like every 10 years, it's a different kind of game. And I would say over the last 10 or so years, and maybe a little bit longer than that, but definitely the last 10, you've seen the NFL put a giant emphasis on offense. And that's why I know a lot of people don't agree with me on this, and that's okay. This is an offensive league. People still hang their hat on defense wins championships. Yes, you'll hear a couple of players say that from time to time. You'll hear offensive players say that from time to time. That's just the PC thing to say, right? To support your defense. In this league today, it's about scoring. And the reason why I know that, right? I believe in that. And I think that when you look at what Brad Holmes did, go look at how he drafted. Yeah, did he invest in the interior early? Yes, he did. With Lee McNeil and Levi and Josh Paschal. Yeah, he invested early into the middle of the defense because there was 2 definitive things that I've always believed in, or 3 really, but in the last 10 or 15 years, it was you need to have the best interior. Without the best interior defense, the rest of your defense is going to suffer. So he tried to get that right from the very beginning. Get those guys going, get them developed, because it can take a little bit of time. Second or third year of their career is usually where you start to see the biggest leaps, and that's where you know who those guys are going to be. Lee McNeil a good case point. Lee McNeil is that guy, right? I mean, he turned from being a bump on a log as a rookie to now one of the best interior defensive tackles there is in the game. He's definitely in the top 10 conversation. Had Levi stayed healthy, he would have probably been right there in the top 15 conversation. But he didn't, hasn't. So it's probably not going to work out for him. But if you look at, again, what Brad did, address the interior, and then what did he do? He went to the offensive side of the football, making sure the offensive line was good. Trenches were the most important. And then it's starting to pull in players like Jamison Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, right? He started to build the offense around Jared Goff. He had his quarterback. Now you build the rest of the offense out. We went heavy into offense before we went any more on defense. Like one of the last things that we did, or the Lions did, was bring in corners. It was like one of the last things, and that's really started with Carlton Davis last year. That's when Brad knew he had enough now. Now he's got to fix the last few pieces. He also started with the edge position with Aiden Hutchinson in 2022. So I say that to say this. The interior of the defensive line was key. The offense was the most important part. Scoring points. What have the Lions been doing since 2022? Yeah, we didn't win a ton of games in the beginning of 22, but I would say by week, I don't know, what was it, week 4 or 5 or whatever of that year, the Lions started putting up like 20 or 30 points a game. And we really haven't stopped since. Let me go back and look real quick. The games that we lost was because our defense wasn't caught up yet. They weren't. We had a lot of injuries. Had they stayed healthy, I think that we would have been winning much earlier. So going back to September of 2022, the Lions threw up 35 against the Eagles, 36 against the Commanders in week 2, 24 in week 3, 45 in week 4, It was 0 against the Patriots, got blanked out in that game. Only 6 against the Cowboys, but then 27 against the Dolphins, 31 against the Bears, 31 against the Giants, 25 against the Bills, 40 on the Jaguars, 34 against the Vikings, 41 on the Bears towards the end of the season. It was an offensive league. Offense wins games. Defense helps close the door, right? That's how I view the NFL today. You need to score points. It's not easy to keep all of these teams under 20 points, but if your defense can do that, you're going to win a boatload of games. And the Lions have done that. It's one of my keys, man. I've been keyed on that for a long time now. The most important key on the defense is scoring defense and then turnovers. So again, if you look at what Brad did, is he wanted a very potent, high-octane offense, and then the defense would catch up. But if you can score 30 points a game, there's not many offenses out there that can just do that. You just need to outscore your opponent. Why do you think the Bills win so much? They put up a boatload of points, but their defense is trash. Has always been trash. They give up huge games, ton of tight games, but you don't want tight games. Eventually, when that defense catches up, you should be winning by 7 to 10 points every game if you've done it right. And that's what the Lions have been doing. Eric, do you agree or disagree with that? I don't know if I've ever really gotten your opinion on, I would say back in the 80s and the 90s and even into the very early 2000s, maybe to 2005, 2008, defense was a key. Like that was the most important part to your team back then. When the rules changed in the NFL to not hit players across the middle, right? You can't hit a player until they catch the ball. Obviously, that would be a flag if you did beforehand. But they targeted the defensive players to not be overly aggressive with the offense. They wanted points. Points is what sells tickets. And so for the last 15 years, it's been all about offense based on the rules. And if you're a smart GM, you're going to build a team around what the rules allow you to do. It's not, I need the 2 best edge defenders in the league. Why? For what reason? The rules tell you I can send everybody over the middle and they're not supposed to get touched. I should be able to complete a lot of balls. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what Brad Holmes did. He took advantage of the rules. Again, smart teams do that. What do you think?
Well, if defense wins championships, then why aren't the Cleveland Browns undefeated?
There you go. Yeah, they got the best of everything over there, it seems like.
But yet the Lions have the number 1 scoring offense in the league, and they're 3-1 and in first place in their division. So I would rather have the best offense versus the best defense. And I don't know. I would have to go back and look at the last 10 years to see how the number 1 offense versus did, league wide for the season versus how the number 1 defense did league wide over the course of the season.
Well, you know what? I didn't prepare this, but I know that let me take that back. I have prepared this in the past, and it's something that I've always kept. Let's kind of go through this for a second, if you don't mind. I know that there's some things that you wanted to get to today.
Hey, we can do anything you want. I don't care if we get to any of my
we can't
topics.
talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown because people are going to unsubscribe. They're gonna get all pissy. Yeah, they can't take good conversation.
Oh man, it's just that. Hey, we sometimes we have to talk about things that are hard.
Right.
Okay. As Lions fans, we went through 30 years of it. So if you've been around for the 30 years of the bad stuff, talking about some kid playing video games at 4 a.m. is super easy, right?
Yeah, I can't be 99% positive and 1% negative. Oh God. I can't say something that's factual. Shit, man.
It's the end of the world. Come on.
Oh my
man.
goodness, the sky is falling. Burn it down.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll do instead. Not that anyone would care, but I don't drink alcohol. I'm going to go out and party for the next 7 nights straight. Let's see how many times I show up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and party 7 nights in a row, and I'm going to stay up till 5 in the morning, and we'll see how many days I show up next week. It'll be 0.
You know what?
I promise you it'll be 0.
You know what? Even though there was kind of a negative tone in the chat today, J-Rod just fixed it. He gave us a $5 super chat. He says, like, share, subscribe. The number one's Lions content. Become a member. Comment on videos. Swipe the hype. And buy me a coffee.
There you
I
go.
love it. Thanks,
Appreciate it,
J-Rod.
J-Rod. Love you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, way to bring it up.
I'm loving it.
All right, let's move on. I did this analysis a long time ago. And
we've talked about it before.
Yeah, it went something like this. Early to mid 2000s, defense wins championships. Today, offense wins championships. 2007 and 2011, well, the Giants won, and they were neither. If you look at the outliers in the NFL, there's very few. And what I said at the tail end of last year is we've had a couple of anomalies over like the last 15 years where it was the number one defense or the better defense over offense that ended up winning. The Eagles and the Chiefs were the only two teams. I think there was only 2 Super Bowls, which I'll pull it up here in a minute, in like the last 15 years where you've had a better defense ranking on a team win the Super Bowl. Now, I only have
maybe last year with the Eagles.
I only have data, like through 2022, but we can pull up the rest of the data if you could. Eric, start looking up the offense and defense rankings for the Super Bowl for the last 3 seasons. Or last 2 or 3 seasons. So in 2022, the Chiefs had the number one offense. Can anybody tell me what you think that their defensive ranking should have been or would have been? What do you think that their defensive ranking was? I'm curious I really want to know. This could have been one of the anomaly years. But if they had the number one offense, did they have the number one defense? Is that why they won? The answer would be no. They had the 16th ranked defense in 2022. The 21 Rams. They had this number 7 offense. Do you think that they had a better defense or offense? What do you think? Defense or offense? It would be.
Are you asking me a question?
If you want to, if you hear it, if you want to
ask it again, I was typing.
Yeah. So the Rams, they had the number 7 offense in 2021. Yep. Do you think that their defense was better or worse than the offense?
Worse.
You think that the defense was worse, ranked less?
Yeah, I think the offense was better.
Yeah, and it was. The defense was ranked 15th. 2020, the Buccaneers. They had the number 8 ranked defense in the league that season. Any idea on where their offense should have been? Why did they win the Super Bowl? They had Tom Brady. What do you think? Better or worse than 8?
Their offense?
Their offense. You think it was better or worse than 8?
Better.
It was number 3. So that's 3 years in a row, 20, 21, 22, the offense is better, and then better by a long shot. All right, 2019, the Chiefs, again, number 7 ranked defense. Better or worse offense?
Better.
Better. Number 5. Patriots, 2018, number 7 ranked defense. Better or worse offense?
And which team?
2018 Patriots.
I'm going to say better.
Better. Number 4.
Yeah.
Eagles, 2017, number 4 ranked defense. That's a pretty damn good defense. Better or worse?
Which season?
17 Eagles. Number 4 ranked defense. That was Nick Foles and Wentz.
Yeah, their defense was better that year.
Nope.
No?
Yeah, Eagles by 1 point or by one ranking, number 3.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, that was Nick Foles. I wouldn't
that-
have thought that with Carson Wentz and Foles.
That was a tough. That was a tough team back then. Both sides of
And
the football.
I did find the last 5 Super Bowls, their offensive and defensive rankings.
All right, perfect.
I got it all.
All right, so then 2016 Patriots, number 3 ranked offense, better or worse defense? 2016 Patriots.
Oh, that's 16 because 17 they went undefeated.
17 was the Eagles. 2016 Patriots, number 3 ranked offense, better or worse defense?
Their defense was worse than their offense.
Number 1 ranked defense in the league.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Number 1 ranked defense in the league. 2015 Broncos.
Ooh.
Number 4 ranked defense in the league.
Yeah.
Better or worse offense?
Their defense was higher.
19th ranked offense.
Yeah.
That's one of those major anomalies. Like you typically see top 10 offense and defense win. Or if you don't have a top 10 defense or offense, your offense or defense is usually ranked in the top 3 or 4 or 5. Go back to 2014. Hesper, I don't know why you keep trying to pound this drum. I don't care what he said after practice. I just played you the clips. Literally just played you the clips of everything that he said. Go back and re-listen to it.
It's went both ways. He said he didn't, then he said he did.
So, and he said he did twice, and he didn't once. So he's all over the map. 2014 Patriots, number 4 ranked offense, number 8 ranked defense. So far, we have 1 year between 2014 and 2022 where the defense was ranked better. 1 year. 2013 Ravens, 8 ranked offense for 8 ranked offense. What a scary defense that was. 2013.
Oh, God,
number 1 ranked defense. So there's 2 going back to 2013. 2012 Ravens. I'm just gonna fly through these. Better offense. 2011 Giants. Better offense. 2010 Packers. Better defense. 10-8. Saints. 2009 number 1 offense. 20th ranked defense. You're telling me that you can win a Super Bowl with a 20th ranked defense? Well, it's been done. And the year before that was the exact opposite. The Steelers won in 2008 with the 20th ranked offense and the number 1 ranked defense. So when you talk about defense wins championships, yes, it can. But it better be the most insanely great defense that has ever played the game to be able to do it like the Steelers did in 2008. Like the Packers did in 2010, like the Seahawks did in 2013. But outside of that, you can keep on going back through history. There was a period there between 2000 and 2005 where the defense was way better. And we're talking the Ravens were number 1, the Bucs were number 1, the Patriots were number 1. Out of those, and the Patriots were number 2, and the Steelers were number 3. So out of those 6 years, you had top 3 ranked defenses winning a championship. You go back the previous 10 years before that, from 1990 to 1999. It's insane when you look at these numbers, and I'll throw them up on the screen so you don't think I'm full of shit. That is when you had the top 5 ranked offense and defense, and the offense was still better. So let me throw this up on the screen real quick.
Yeah, and then when you get into 2023,
we'll go there next.
Yeah,
we'll go there. We'll go there next. This is fun to kind of go back and look at every year because I love having this argument with people. Because what we're ingrained to think, what we've always thought, because you've always heard that defense wins championships.
Yep.
It's not accurate, and it's okay. Like, it's okay that an offense can win. And the reason why I bring this up is because I firmly believe that Brad Holmes had a vision that he wanted to build a scary offense. And there's a reason for it. He wanted to win, and he wanted to make sure that you could put up a bunch of points. If you can't stop me from scoring, it's pretty hard to beat me. If you can't stop me from scoring, it's pretty hard to beat me. And that is a fact. All right, here we go. Let me throw this up. All right. Let me just go all the way down here. So the first number on the left there, that is offense. The second number is defense on the left side. So it'll say the team, then offense, then defensive ranking. I'll just scan through it real quick. You can go back and stop and look at it, pause it. So there you go. Look between 2000 and 2005. You see offenses that were not great, but if you, my cursor doesn't show up. But if you look at those defenses right there, 1, 6, 1, 1, 2, and 3, that's some pretty incredible defenses. 2006 to 2010, number 2 ranked offense to 23rd defense, 14th ranked offense to 17th. That's why I say that in 7 and 11, the Giants were terrible, but they somehow won. 8, 20 to 1, 09, 1 to 20. But these numbers are legit, man. There's a reason why I have this stuff. It's so that when I get in these arguments with people, I have facts to go off of. All right, Eric, give me some more facts, man. What happened last year?
All right. Well, for the last 5 years, only one time did an offense win the Super Bowl because of their defense.
That can't be possible. So I don't know what rankings you're looking at, because I have 21 and 22. Offenses were both better.
Well, that's what I mean. So back in 23-24, the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and their offensive ranking was 15th. Their defensive ranking was 2nd.
Okay.
And then
what about 24?
Year, yeah. So 22-23.
24.
This is going backwards. So 24. So this would be 23 now. The offensive ranking was 1st. Defensive ranking was 16th. So almost the exact opposite.
Was that the Eagles?
That was the Kansas City Chiefs. The 2 years the Kansas City Chiefs won it.
So that was the 2024 Super Bowl.
Yeah, 23 and 24.
Yeah, 24. Then 25 was the Eagles. What was their ranking?
Yeah, it's not showing me 25. I said the last 5 Super Bowls.
Oh, yeah.
It showed me all the ones except for last year.
That's the only one that we really need is 23 and 24.
But in the last 5 years, your offensive ranks for the winner has been 5th, 3rd, 7th, 3rd, 1st, and 15th.
All right. So the Super Bowl, where is it? Where is it?
And I have not seen a top ranked offense anywhere in the last 5 years.
Yeah, I'm telling you that's wrong. I just showed you. I don't know what stats you're looking at, but that's not right.
What do you mean?
You just said the last 5 years.
Yeah,
that's not right.
Didn't show me last year.
Yeah, that's not right. I don't know what are you looking at?
Oh, I asked Jeffrey.
You can't trust AI.
Okay.
Yeah, no, can't trust AI. So if you were to go back to the last 5 years, if we go back to 21, the Rams offense was better than defense, 7-15. If you go to the 22 Chiefs, they had the number 1 ranked offense, the number 16th ranked defense. So what we need is 23 and 24.
Yeah. So 23-24 is offense for the Chiefs was 15th and their defense was 2nd.
But that's according to AI. I'm not going to trust it.
Okay. Well, all your other numbers lined right up with what you just said.
Then I don't know where you're coming up with the last 5 that the offense wasn't better at all.
Oh, no. I didn't say that. I said they were, except for this year right here. 23-24 was the only one.
Offense defensive rank 2024.
Where the defense was 2nd and the offense was 15th. No, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. Didn't sound like it.
Yeah. No, just the opposite.
All right. So if we go back to 2024, at least what Fox Sports put out, total defense, the Eagles were number 1. And come on, you got to find me the offense here.
I like what ARF says. Where do the refs figure into those Chiefs numbers?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They go 15-2 last year. They're the worst 15-2 team to ever win 15 games. Somehow they make it through the playoffs with a bunch of help from the refs. They make it to the Super Bowl and get crushed. So, yeah,
All right,
I'm
so
with you there.
According to what is this football database? I've never used this one, but they say that the Eagles had the number one defense in 2024, and offense they had. Where are they? Wow, where are they? They can't be that low. Oh, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 8th ranked offense, 1st ranked defense last year. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. 2023. I don't know how this is possible. The Miami Dolphins had the number one ranked offense. I mean, okay. Defense was the Cleveland Browns, then the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Chiefs had the 2nd ranked defense.
Yep.
And they had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th ranked offense. That I could agree with. And that's just overall offensive numbers, right? It's just overall. It's not anything super in depth, but it goes by yards. If you were to go by points per game, then the Chiefs would be, wow, they'd be way down there. 1, 2, 3, 4,
I don't know
5,
why
6, 7, 8,
when
9,
they
10,
say, you know,
15th.
the Browns have the number one defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the number one scoring defense in the league, do they?
Okay,
they have
so
the number one yardage.
Yeah, you have to pick a metric.
I know, but when they talk on any show, they'll say, "Oh, the Browns have the number one defense in the league this year."
Mm-hmm.
To me, they don't. They're not the number one scoring defense.
They're not the number one scoring defense, but what they are number one at, if you go and look at pass rush win rates, if you go and look at sack numbers, if you go and look at passes defensed and TFLs and, run defense, not giving up yardage, then yeah, they are the number one defense from a overall perspective.
Yeah.
But then if you go in and break it down by each category, then no, they don't have the number one defense in every metric, but they have enough collectively. Like right now, the Houston Texans, they're only giving up 12.8 points per game. The Broncos, 16.8. The Seahawks, 16.8. The Chargers, 17.8. The Jags, 18. The Cardinals, 18.5. The Chiefs, 19. And the 49ers, 19.6. The Vikings at 20 even. So if we go by my 20 points or less, the Vikings don't have a quarterback. You can throw that out, right? That doesn't count. But then again, if you count the 49ers, they don't really have a quarterback. They're missing a bunch of players. Their defense is winning games right now, right? Their offense is scoring enough points, but their defense is winning games. What about the Cardinals, right? The Cardinals, what is their record right now? Are they 3-1?
Yeah.
I think they are.
Yeah, everyone in the division's was 3-1. Now the Rams are 3-2 and the 49ers are 4-1 after last night's game.
No, the Cardinals are 2-2.
Oh.
Yeah, they're 2-2.
They were all 2-1. Okay.
All right. So when you look at the Cardinals at 2-2, they're still only giving up 18.5 points per game. I don't know what their schedule is. I don't know everybody that they've played. The Rams at 3-2, they're giving up, which I'm a little bit surprised in the Rams right now in that defense.
Yep.
I'm real surprised. Like their defense should be scary good, but they're only giving up 21.4 points per game. It's also early. I mean, we're just out of the first quarter. Seahawks at 3-1. They are the number 3rd ranked scoring defense. So that jives, right? I mean, all these really jive with where they're at. 49ers are 4-1, so they've played 5 games now. And and they're only allowing 19.6 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans, that's I think an anomaly here because they're not playing very well. Yeah, they're 1-3. How are you not able to score, or how are you not winning games if you're averaging 12.8 points that you're giving up?
Yeah, CJ Stroud is beyond sophomore slump. He's in like a senior slump this year. That whole offense is just atrocious.
I don't know what they have for injuries. Honestly, I haven't paid enough attention to the Texans.
Yeah.
How about the Broncos? So they're second in the league right now, points per game. They're 2-2. So I mean, I wouldn't say that that's terrible, but their quarterback play has been a little bit shaky at times. How about the Chargers? What are the Chargers? 3-1 right now? No, yeah, 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah, so that jives too. And they're only giving up 17.8 points per game. The Jags coming out of left field this year. I got the Jags winning this weekend. I know I'm nuts.
I do too.
They're 3-1. Why are they 3-1? Is it because of their offense or their defense?
Their defense.
Well, their defense is the top 5 in scoring. Their offense in points per game is 24. So they're winning games because they're scoring 3 more points than the opponent by average.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a potent offense like the Lions right now, who are number 1 in the league at 34.2, and then you have the defense for the Detroit Lions that is getting close. We're giving up 22 points per game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are top 15 in the league for giving up points. I don't know that I've seen this many teams this close in points per game at this point in the season, year over year.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've seen it this close. I know that you're up against it here. If there's anything else that you want to talk about real quick, got about 5 minutes. You had a couple of links or a couple of things. You had 20 men on JMO. You had Bengals players and coaches. Zach Taylor under fire. Which one do you want to touch on?
What are the Bengals talking about this week? A little bit going behind enemy lines here.
I just lost my chat too.
So the Bengals are playing the Lions for the first time in 8 years on Sunday in Cincinnati at 4:00. But an NFC North type game is likely to break out. And why is that? Because hometown hero David Montgomery, the Lions' bruising running back from Cincinnati, originally leads Detroit's bite a kneecap off mentality, not to mention the NFL's 6th ranked run offense, fueling the number 1 scoring offense. And this is what the Bengals had to say. They're going to come in here and try to bully us. They're going to try to run the ball down our throat. We understand that. We've got to find a way to stop the run and put them in 3rd and long. Get some tackles for loss so it's not even 2nd and 7, but it's 2nd and 10. The Bengals have a new acquisition used to such NFC North affairs involving Detroit. Nose tackle TJ Slayton, who played for the Packers last year. So he knows a little bit about the Detroit Lions. And let's see. They had a few more quotes here from some of the Bengals players. And this is the first one. Maybe the best duo of running backs in the league. Jameer is more of a scat back, very shifty. He has a lot of juice. Montgomery is more of a downhill runner. He's going to try to run through your face. They complement each other very well. They adjust to the game plan, to their strengths when they're in. They've been really good at the last couple of years. We understand that. And this is from Zach Taylor. It's the epitome of the head coach just trying to punch you in the mouth. That's their mindset as a team, and they kind of live that. They've got some trickery. Sometimes you know what's coming, and they still punch you in the mouth. We've got to be more physical at the point of attack. So this weekend, they're going to try to match our physicality. I just don't believe that the Bengals are going to even have a chance to match our physicality, but they're going to come out in the first quarter and they're going to give it their all. They really are. So watch out on this first quarter. I would say watch for our defense to get a stop on that first series of the game for the Bengals, because the Lions have now in 4 straight games given up a touchdown on defense on the first series every time for every game this year. So the Lions need to get a 3-and-out on that first series of the game. We really, really do. Or a turnover, an interception, something. Our defense needs to get out to a hot start and keep it that way. Kind of like the Broncos did against the Bengals on Monday night. They stopped them right away. They limited them to 3 points for the entire game. That's the kind of defensive output the Lions need. Now, I know the Lions don't have a defense that's anything like Denver. Denver has a great defense this year. So I'm looking for this Lions to continue to be, top 15, top 10, and keep that kind of a spirit going against the Bengals. And I think this is going to help the Lions climb in that scoring defense metric. We might get to that 20 points a game projected point total by keeping these guys under 10 points. And I think that's what's going to happen. Originally during the preseason, I had this as a 35-34 affair for the Detroit Lions. And now I have to change things up a little bit. Now I'm going to say it's going to be 33-10 is my final projection. I don't think we're going to put it on them per se. I don't think we're going to have our highest scoring output ever. I don't think we're going to get to 60 points for the first time ever. I just don't see that happening on this game. It's a road game. It's in their house. So
you must have been buying into what I was saying, earlier in the week. Earlier in the week, you were like, "Yeah, we're gonna drop. We're gonna crush."
Yeah, but 33-10. That's a 23-point win. That's 3 scores. Or 4 scores. I'm happy with that. I am very happy winning by 23, and I think that's what's going to happen this week. They're going to come prepared. They're going to come to try to take us down. They're going to try to be physical. I just don't think they have the horses to win that race. I think we're too physical. We're too good. We have too many playmakers on both sides of the ball.
All right. I know you got to run. I'm going to bring in I'm going to bring in T. Higgins here. We'll catch you over the weekend, man. Take care.
Yep. See ya.
All right. So I'm going to bring in T. Higgins here. I don't know why it's not playing audio. Figure that out real quick. Should be playing audio. It's not muted. There we go. All right, T. Higgins. Let's see what he had to say about the Detroit Lions.
Just intensity's been high. Just want to come back and just turn it around.
How tough is it, especially as you see the offense is quicker than when you wanted to these last couple of weeks? How do you kind of not get discouraged as the offensive end is trying to find its footing?
Yeah, obviously it's been tough. Obviously because I know what we got in the locker room, what we got on the offensive side of the ball. I can't really get too discouraged because I know we could change it around. You know what I mean? So we just got to go out there and just execute what's the game plan. Get our blocks when we need our blocks, even on run plays, and and make the contested plays as well on the perimeter.
When you're going through what you guys are going through as an offense, how important is it to just hit on a few passes early, a few plays early, to kind of get into a rhythm?
Yeah, man, it's definitely good to get in the rhythm. You know what I mean? Especially when you got, guys like we got on the perimeter, get us going early, and the offense probably flow way better, you know what I mean?
After the past couple of weeks, does it feel like you and Jamar almost have to lead the charge as much as possible from a production standpoint,
just
trying to get things turned around?
I mean, just being leaders, on the offense. I feel like, that's what we want to do. You know what I mean? Just get the ball in our hands, let us get going, then let everybody else, get going as well. I'm not trying to say it like let us get going first, but obviously we want to get going as well early in the game. So
how do you see him kind of grow as a leader this year? How has he grown, Jamar grown as a leader this year?
Just been more vocal, you know what I mean? Not really a vocal guy, but he's been more vocal, and then he got that C on his chest, so, he's really taking that role in and being that leader that we need.
Can you tell that means a lot to him, the fact that he got motor captain and they put him in that role?
Yeah, for sure. You can tell his whole demeanor changed this year. Just being, like I said, more vocal and just, telling guys what he see and things like that.
Jake is obviously has had big games with you. Do you tell him anything, and where's your confidence level in him right now?
I just keep telling Jake, be Jake, man. Just be you. And at the end of the day, we just got to execute as a whole. We got to compliment the defense. When they get stops, you got to go out there and put points on the board. So.
How big would it be for y'all to go out and have a good show and good performance against Detroit? Obviously, y'all want to win, but how big would it be to go out and play to the level y'all think y'all can?
I mean, it'd be very big. It gives us confidence. So, and then hopefully that confidence will roll over to the next game. So, it'd be very big to go out there and get on there early.
The players to score more points than you have?
Yeah, we got the players to do it, but we all got to be, play as one. You know what I mean? So we can have individual players that do a lot of great things, but if we're not playing as one, then it's not going to work. You know what I mean? So we just got to play as one, execute the game plan.
In the offensive meetings and yards, there have been something y'all been talking about returns as a point of emphasis to get ready this week?
Just talking about their defense, just getting ready, getting prepared, to execute the game plan that the coach prepared for us.
How hard have the past 2 weeks been for you?
It's been tough, man. Obviously, nobody likes losing, especially the way we've been losing. So it's been tough. I'm trying to do everything I can, day in, day out, to help my teammates get better, help myself get better, and just hope for a better outcome this coming Sunday.
One of the big refrains has got to be better on third down. What is it specifically about the third down? Because the Denver seemed like you guys had some third and shorts. What's been the disconnect there on third down?
Man, we just gotta, like I said, execute, man, and it starts, up front. Gotta get those blocks, and then it start with us as well. Gotta make the catches, even the tough ones. So.
Man, I don't know about that interview. One, very, very tough to hear with all the music in the background. I mean, obviously we could hear Higgins, but it's really no different. I think from team to team, you hear a lot of the same, what I like to call coach speak, player speak. It's no different. But T. Higgins here, I don't know if he was throwing shots. I don't know if it really comes across that way to you. Was he throwing shots? He looked deflated. He doesn't look enthused. He doesn't look like he's ready. Like I don't know. Maybe he's just too calm. Maybe that's, I don't watch enough of his interviews, so I really don't know. But I would say, when he says that we know what we have on the offense, what about your defense? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. If I was a defensive player, I would say, what do you mean by that? You know what you have on offense. What about us? He was so one-sided, I feel like, in this interview. Talks about the leaders on the offense. Talking about the players have to play as one. So I don't know. Is there something going on in this team? He talks about, Browning just being him, just be him, play the way that he can play. They have trust in him. He says that. It just didn't come off as an interview that looked like he's ready to go and play. Like he doesn't feel like they have a chance against the Lions. And I hope he doesn't. I mean, obviously, I don't want him to have a chance, but I don't know. It just came off weird. It just definitely does. There's a big difference between, or a big drop off between what the Lions say, right? And how they believe, how the players believe, and how they feel. Their confidence is I mean, so high. And it just bleeds. I mean, it just bleeds from player to player. It bleeds through. I don't see that with this Bengals team. They look broken. They absolutely look broken. And I can't say that I'm mad about that. But I'd like to know from you, how did that come across to you? How did that come across? Because to me, it looked like he was throwing shots at the defense potentially, and there was times through it where he's saying, okay, well we've got to make the blocks, or we've got to make the catches. They've got to do their side, and it just didn't come off good. All right, let's get into Dan Campbell's opponent review. Again, since we were a little bit late today. Since I was late today, I'm going to make sure we get a few of these things in. Love covering these things with Dan Campbell and the team. Hear what they have to say. Some of it, is a couple of days old, but it's Friday. We try to turn the page on, Wednesday afternoon. All right, here we go. Dan Campbell. Team preview.
Review with head coach Dan Campbell in week 5, going on the road to the Cincinnati Bengals. Jake Browning has stepped up into that starting quarterback role. He's filling in for Joe Burrow, who's recovering from some turf toe. So you got to watch these Bengals Monday Night Football against Denver. What kind of identity, if any, did you see coming out of Cincy?
Well, I think what they're trying to figure out here.
Hold on, Danny. Hold on. Oh, I love it. What kind of identity, if any, did you see coming out of Cincy? Oh, I love that. And maybe I'm overthinking it a little bit, but that was a shot, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
A little bit is okay, where do we go without Burrow? We know we still have playmakers. They've got a little bit of a run game. They got Brown. And defensively, it's about they need to get takeaways, right? That's what it's got to be. So that's a little bit of who they are.
Coach, you're going to have to pick your poison with playmakers on the Bengals offense. From Monday Night Football, pocket closing in on Browning. He finds T. Higgins for an impressive catch on the sideline. What is making Higgins so dangerous this season?
Yeah, he's a massive threat. Obviously, with number 1, Chase. This is what this guy can do, man. You give him a one-on-one, and you got the green light. Throw it up, give him a chance to make a play. You can do that with either one of these guys, but they're also very good route runners, too. So this is it, man. You can be in perfect position. This guy goes over the top of you and makes a play.
Next up, Jamar Chase is the...
Okay, so this is exactly one of the things that I was talking about throughout the week when I said we cannot discredit the Bengals offense. And they're going to hang around in games that they don't belong in. And this is why. Like, Browning is an NFL quarterback. I don't care that his last name isn't Burrow. I don't care that his last name isn't Mahomes. I don't care that his last name isn't, and you're all good, Nate. I'm just being honest with you. Literally, it's no big deal. The thing about having Higgins and Chase is you have 2 studs, 2 Ferraris on the outside of this offense. They're probably not going to have a run game. We can almost guarantee they're not going to have a run game. So they're going to be passing a lot, which puts a lot of stress on your corners. Our corners, in my opinion, they're going to have a big test this weekend because they're going to consistently be playing in reverse. And if Calvin Shepard does not put us in zone, our guys are going to get gassed. We have not had a game yet where we've had 50 passes thrown against us and these guys are running in reverse the whole game. So that they haven't gone through it yet. So my point is, put us in zone, yeah, you're going to eat some stuff underneath. You're going to give up some chunk yards, and that's exactly how the Bengals are going to stay in this game. If you put us in man, we're going to get scorched. And again, I don't care who the quarterback is. Those guys can still throw the damn football. And Chase is going to go up and catch it. He's great at contested catches, and so is Higgins. Both of these guys can play at a high level. And so, yeah, could we win? I mean, to Eric's point, he thinks that we'll win by 23, and that is a huge win. I just don't see this offense being anything close to what the Browns' offense was, and they were able to score 10. I think that they'll probably put up closer to 17 points in this game. And depending on what the Lions do and how we come prepared, maybe we only put up 27. I think that we should be able to put up 50 on their defense. But then again, we're going into their place. It's loud. It's just like playing at Ford Field. They're going to have home field advantage. And I think that that does a few things to an offense. You know, you're not going to be able to hear as well. They still have Trey Hendrickson, which by no means do I believe that this Bengals defense is anything close to what we faced in the Browns. It's different though, right? It's a different style of a defense. It's a different mentality. It's a different speed. And I mean, one guy can wreck a game. Trey Hendrickson can wreck a game. I'm not saying he's going to. All I'm saying is the potential is there.
Leading wide receiver for the Bengals right now. In this play, he looks over his shoulder, still able to snag the downfield throw. How is he elevating his play through the first?
I mean, look at that catch.
He's impressive, and here you go again, man. There's
probably
another
gonna have to cut this
one-on-one.
out.
Just give him a chance, and this guy will go up over the top of you. We just saw Higgins do it. You see this guy do it, and really both of those guys have run after catch ability too. This is just making a play, call it 20, 25 yards down the field. This guy's a dangerous runner after catch too.
Defensively, Trey Hendrickson is a mainstay on that side of the ball. 17.5 sacks last season. Slower start for him, just 2 sacks through the first 4 games. What is that?
That was
matchup
totally
like
offsides on.
Trey Hendrickson is a mainstay on that.
Have run after
That was
catch
totally
ability.
offsides on the Raiders. Look at this guy in the right tackle. See that?
Slower start for him, just 2 sacks through the first 4 games. What is that matchup going to look like Sunday with your tackles?
Well, look, here's the good news. We got good tackles, all right, obviously, and we just faced Myles Garrett, okay? And by the way, we've had a camp full of Hutchinson and freaking Davenport. This guy's good, but our guys are seeing good a lot, so we'll be ready for this. But this guy he's dangerous, man. He's really crafty. He's got a quick first step. He's strong, right? He's got some explosiveness, but this is where he's just crafty, man. You got to be on point with your fundamentals because he does the hand swipe and then makes the play here. That's one of his patented moves.
On the back end for Cincy is Dax Hill. He moved from safety to cornerback. He's still tackling like a safety, and he's very physical, especially by the goal line. What do you have to make sure your offense knows about him?
Yeah, good football player. You know, I know it's been a while now, but you know, this guy, we did a lot of work on him and liked him as a football player. Very crafty, smart. You just said, man.
Does that mean that they were looking at bringing Dax Hill in? He never popped up on my radar. That's interesting. I'm going to have to check this guy out now a little bit.
He's tough. He's feisty. He's got ball skills. He's a guy, man, you got to put a hat on him. You know, you got to put a hat on him, and this is not going to do it, right? This is not going to get it done. But he's got a nose for the football. A lot of times you'll see some of these nickels, and you say, let's get him involved in the run game, and maybe we put the O-line on him. This guy's a little craftier, right? So we got to be aware of him.
3-game win streak for your Detroit Lions.
Okay, so in the run game, let me wind this back a little bit. So in the run game, and I know that this looked like a little short outlet pass. In the run game, this is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown's #1 target. Right? Dax Hill playing up in the slot there. So if he's up on Amon-Ra St. Brown right now, this is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown's #1 target to block. And this is where either our run game gets going or it doesn't. Dax is, he's a little shifty, huh? Just look at that duck move. Holy shit. Excuse my language. Do you see that duck? I don't see people do that very often. Look at him duck. Whoop. He got so low to the ground there. I mean, dude was blocking air. Well, let's wind it back a little bit. Look at that. I hate how the controls stay on the screen. That is a shifty move. It's going to be a fun matchup. All right, let's listen to the rest.
Nichols, and you say, let's get him involved in the run game. Maybe we put the O-line on him. This guy's a little craftier, right? So we got to be aware of him.
3-game win streak for your Detroit Lions. It feels like every single one of those wins, you've done it differently. What does that say about your team right now?
Well, it's good because, I've said it before, but I think the more ways you figure out how to win and you get good at those, then, pretty soon you've seen and adjusted to every type of game there is out there by the opponent and what it's taken to win. And then there's these games we don't even know yet what we don't know. There's going to be some games we're going to have to find a way to get through it. And once you've kind of adjusted the way that you need to adjust, man, you're a very dangerous team.
We'll see come Sunday. Thanks so much, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Damn right, we're a dangerous team. We are the Detroit Lions, man. The D is dangerous. Who says that? Was that in Top Gun? What was his name? I'm dangerous. When he snaps his teeth together. All right. Lastly here, John Morton.
Looking forward to this opportunity
that's
going on the road and good defense. They do a good job. Looking forward to this opportunity going on the road and good defense. They do a good job. They get after it, veteran players. They know their defense inside and out. They do a good job with their rush on the back end. They don't do a lot, but except for third down 7 and 10, when you're getting around that area, they do a lot of stuff. But they do a really good job. Veteran defense with Trey and Wilson, those two guys, they make this defense go. So we got our work cut out for us a little bit. So any questions?
How different are they schematically, switching from Lou and the defense he had there for years to Al?
Mm-hmm. Same scheme. So I don't see a lot of difference there. Al was, he was there a few years ago, so same type of defense, almost the same players. So, like I said, they do a really good job because they know what they're doing. They've been in the same defense, so yeah.
I wanted to ask you about Jared and just from your first time here to now, how have you seen him grow and get better at what he does?
Everything. Just everything, man. I mean, the communication, the RC that we always talk about, he's just been phenomenal. Game planning, me and him, just talking, the accuracy that he's had, handling checks at the line, all that, just everything. He's just so much better at. And he's played a while, so he's comfortable in this offense and where we're at. And that's good for a quarterback because we want, you want him to go out there and not think about a lot of stuff. But he's got us in some great checks, and we capitalized on it. So to answer your question, just really everything.
What can a quarterback do to improve their pocket presence?
Well, you drill it. 2 hands on the ball. You got to have little subtle movements. You know what I mean? Sometimes quarterbacks, they move too much or too much in the pocket, move up, out, in, and then they get in trouble because now the D line's on you now. So you got to work those drills, and we do that daily. Thought he did a really good job last week.
John, I'm curious how much appreciation you have for receivers who embrace blocking.
Yeah, I played wide out. Scotty does an unbelievable job with those guys. I think it's awesome. And to have those guys, because it helps the run game out so much, and then play action, man. And then when defenders see that, when a defense sees the wideouts blocking like the way our wideouts block, they know every single down, they got to bring it. If they don't, we'll probably have some success.
Hey, it's either they bring it or we bring it, right? They bring it or we bring it. And we already know that we're bringing it. So bring it every down, bring it every play. That defense is expecting it. And it doesn't even matter if you're expecting it. We're still coming for you, no matter what. You missed what I said about Hassanin. I mean, it's at the very beginning of the show today. So if you want to rewind it, it should be there. I won't go back into that right now. Maybe if I got a minute when we're done here.
So it just sets up everything. We're such an unselfish team. I think that's the best thing about this team.
Did you block as a receiver or did you just fly?
Blocked. I wanted to catch the ball, man. No, I blocked, and I caught the ball.
How much do you expect a bounce back from Jamo? A couple of those were going to be difficult catches, but probably the third down, he'd probably be the first to admit he probably should have had that one. Just to bounce back.
I think he bounced back right away because look what he did after the game, man. He continued to block his butt off during the game. We hit him on that 1 third down play. So he bounced back the next play. That's what I think. And then the way he practices, man. Listen, there's no problem with J-Mo. And there's going to be times where we're going to ask him to step up, you know what I mean? And he'll do it. We've got the utmost confidence in him. But I would say right to the next play, man. And that's what he did. I think that's where he's grown, you know what I mean? Didn't phase him. So...
John, you've seen a lot of good tackles in this league, and you've seen a lot of guys play through a lot to play on Sunday. Just what do you make of the way that Decker is playing right now, given all that he's playing through for you guys?
Again, man, it's about the team, and he prepares to get ready. It's a good thing that he is a veteran. He's seen a lot of stuff, so he's got to do a lot of film study to be ready for the game. So I think it gives everybody confidence when you know he's going to be ready on game day.
You regularly mention the unselfishness of this roster. I go back to the first time we talked to the combine, the kid in the candy store line with just all the weapons you have.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, everybody wants the ball, even if they're unselfish, they want the ball, they want to feel like they're contributing. How much time do you spend just making sure you're finding ways to keep all those guys involved in that way and letting them have their piece of the pie?
Yeah. Well, I don't go home until Friday, so... That's what I do. I sit there and try to find ways to get these guys open. No, but I love it. I love this part of the week. The preparation. That's what I live for. It's a good problem to have. And then when the game starts, you got to see what happens. Sometimes it's this guy that has the hot hand. Sometimes it's that. It's just whatever they're doing, we try to adapt and try to change if we need to. And you got to do that right away in the league. Okay, what are they doing? What are they not doing? Anything, that's what good coaches do, and that's what we've done.
Along the same lines, this offseason seemed like getting Jameer lined up out wide was a focus. We haven't really seen that come to fruition too much in the first 4 weeks. Was that something you felt like you need to scale back or something for later?
No, it's been in. Again, so every game's different. I have certain packages. It just so happened in the game that things change. So you just gotta wait and see every week.
You're at the forefront of a lot of staff change this offseason, but how happy were you when you realized you were going to get to keep Hank Fraley on the staff, and what kind of asset has he been for you so far?
He's awesome, man. Like I said, you think I'm a mad scientist. Him and the head coach, they're mad scientists in the run game. And I think it's helped, because you want to keep the defense off their toes, show them different formations, but maybe run the same play. It's kind of the same things you do in the passing game. You give them illusion that they're seeing what they saw last week, but it's not. But I think they do an unbelievable job. Hank does a great job with those guys. It helps that he's played. He played center. He knows the whole thing, protections, the run game, everything. I think that's big, and the players respond to him. So his communication's awesome.
With the wealth of weapons you guys have, does this offense remind you of any that you've seen, that you've been around in your coaching career?
Yeah, when I was at the Raiders, we had Tim Brown, Jerry Rice, Charlie Gardner, Tyrone Wheatley, Doug Jolly. We went to the Super Bowl there. We had the best offense in the league, so all those guys are Hall of Famers, just about half of them. Great offensive line.
Man, I will never forget. So there was a day. I mean, some of you know where my loyalty lies or doesn't lie, but I don't talk about Saturdays a whole lot, especially on this channel. But I was a U of M fan growing up. And maybe you know this or you don't know this, but I'll tell you the reason why I stopped being a U of M fan is because my heart continually got broken every single year. I don't give up much, but I'll never forget Tyrone Wheatley and how fun he was to watch on Saturdays and on Sundays. But that was probably right around the last few years of my U of M fandom. But man, I love Tyrone Wheatley.
It's really the only thing that comes to mind, really. But these weapons, we can do whatever we want, like I said before in the past. But I hope I answered your question. But those guys.
When you talk about adapting in game and the importance of it, is that one of the bigger values of being in the box and having that eagle eye view is the quicker ability to adapt and relay that message?
Yeah, well, I also think it's the coaches communicating. We talk in between series. So what are you saying? What are they saying? I want to know what the players, what they're saying, what the quarterback's saying. But I can see a lot of stuff up there. There's no doubt. I think it's way easier to call plays up there. Because I got guys down below I can trust. They've done it. So that's the biggest thing. If I didn't have those guys, I would probably go downstairs, for the quarterback. But we got veteran coaches. They've done it, man. So, but it's a lot easier. It takes all the chaos out being on the field where you can call plays and it's nice and quiet. We've done it, man. So, but it's a lot easier. It takes all the chaos, guys. I would probably go downstairs, for the quarterback. But we got veteran coaches. They've done it, man.
All right, so I wanted to rewind it there, and I'm going to step off of this. The reason why I wanted to end with it right there is because one of my main arguments this year about him being up in the box was for Jared Goff. That was the main argument, was I felt that you are disconnected from your quarterback, and you're going to have to play telephone with all of the other, guys that you're in communication with. And sometimes some of those things can get lost, right? Or you're the one that's not on the sideline communicating to the guys on the sideline, all huddled up, on the bench, going through plays. If you're in a tough situation, those are the things that you're not going to be able to do now. So what he said is, if he didn't have the guys, right? If he didn't have the guys that he has, then he would be on the sideline. But he has the trust in these guys. He has the trust in the players. He also has the type of coaches that he has that have been there, that have done it. And like, to his point, if he didn't have it, he would be down there for who? The quarterback. That was my argument. And it was primarily about Jared Goff not having that voice, that cohesion with a new coordinator this quickly. So to me, that's the key, man. That is the key. I wouldn't say that the Lions did break my heart more than U of M. It's just, man, every year it just seemed like it just wasn't working out. So that had to be like 93, 94. That would be 93. I think Tyrone Wheatley played 91 through 94 or 92 through 94 or something like that. But anyway, that's really it. So obviously John Morton has a ton of confidence in this team. He has a ton of confidence in this offensive line, and that's a big key. I like what Dan Campbell said. We're going up against really good guys. And you notice how he mentioned Davenport again, right? He didn't mention AQM, even though he's playing out of his mind. He mentioned Davenport because Davenport is different. Like, he is a different style of a defensive end. He's your big can crusher. We've talked about that a ton. And his bull rush is, he's unblockable. The guy will move you. You can't move him, but he will move you. And for me, again, if he doesn't have these types of players, if he doesn't have these types of coaches, then it is what it is. You know, you're going to have to adapt. The Lions are in a good position right now. They have the players. They have the cohesion. They have the coaching staff. Yeah, we lost 14 coaches or whatever the final number was, but we haven't missed a beat. Outside of the first game, we haven't missed a beat. So let's just keep on keeping on, right? Let's keep on winning. Let's keep on doing the right thing each and every week, and good things will happen. I think John Morton is starting to win the hearts and minds of the fan base week by week. We are now 4 games in. We're entering week 5, and we've put up some pretty good numbers. We've gone through some games where we struggled a little bit. The Browns, we struggled, at times, and then we capitalized at times. We had multiple missed throws and drops and things going on, but protection still stayed, right? Protection was still there. And Jared Goff was, he was on it. He was smart with the football. He's navigating that pocket. He's stepping up where there's a lane. He's getting rid of the ball quickly. And those are the things that will keep Jared healthy. It'll keep him upright. We're not taking sacks. We're not taking unnecessary losses of yardage. And now, like, again, what Dan Campbell said earlier, that when you go through each game and you're figuring out a way to win differently, and you keep stacking that every week, what does that do for your team? Now every single week we've done something different. We've figured out a different way to win. That is so much more important than I think people are really giving it credit to be. You're going to get into a game, let's say week 8 or 9 or 10 or whatever, right? I know they have a bye week 8. It's just an analogy purpose here. And let's say you're in the third quarter and now you're starting to see something that you saw from week 3 from the defense, because they made a change at the half and they went back to, something that the Lions were having, trouble with, let's just say. Well, you've seen it, right? You've seen it. You understand it. You know what's coming now, and now you can beat it. Right? And now you can beat it. So, hey, good morning, David. Before I forget, I am sending you an email today. It's some notes that I have for you and what you had shared with us the other day. So look out for it, and hopefully it helps. Hopefully it helps. If you have any questions on it, don't be a stranger, man. You got my email, and I think you have one of my phone numbers. So obviously, want to help where I can, right? And experience, I think, is the most important thing. There's some things that are going to sound like they're like so trivial, but they're not. Like, they're so important. These little cues and keys of things that Megan went through. So I hope it helps. Anyway, so again, where I was going with all that is Dan Campbell, again, teaching this team. And that's awesome, David. That's amazing. It's a long journey, man. Day by day. And so these things that I'll share today, I think that they'll fit right in. They'll help. And, again, I'll put my phone number in there too. Just call me if you got questions on it. I will tell you, the things that I'm sending you were so needed and were so helpful in so many little ways for her. Is it a trap game? I guess is where I'm going to end today. Do you guys feel this could be a trap game? Remember, a trap game is where your team is not taking this team seriously, right? They're looking at this defense. We got 50. Easy light work, right? But then you look at the offense and you say, man, they've got Browning back there. they're not winning ball games. We should walk all over them in our sleep. Those are the games you lose. Can't lose this game. This is a game you cannot lose. You cannot afford to lose it. You have to take advantage of every situation that you are given in the NFL. And when you're given an opportunity that the star quarterback is down, you better pounce, right? Which means I'm hoping, again, that Calvin Shepard plays a little bit more zone in this game. My keys to the game, again, it will be out tomorrow. There'll be a video. There'll be the article. They'll both be dropping probably at the same time. And then pregame will come out on Sunday. I'll do the full pregame preview on Sunday. I don't think that I'm going to be doing any of the game stream. I didn't realize the game is at 4:25, but that's right when our wedding is. So the post-game show, obviously, I should be back right on time for the post-game show. And if I do anything during the game, it would probably be, it might be first half, maybe, or I might not do anything at all. We'll see. But either way, you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to get to doing some content today. I have a good piece coming out on Taylor Decker. Again, you would appreciate it that when you guys get done with each live stream to put some comments in. It really helps. All of the time that you spend in the chat and all the comments that you put in the chat, that's all great. But the biggest part of this for YouTube is to put them in the chat. And that's how you get entered to win tickets. From now on, any giveaways that we're doing random giveaways. I've bought all sorts of things, which there's a lot of mail going out today. I've got a pile of mail that's going out once they decide to pick up. And random winners, man. I'm giving away all sorts of stuff this year, again, as usual. But if there's not a comment in the comment section, I can't enter you into the drawing. But that's how you're going to get an opportunity to win tickets. The most important thing is that I figure out a way to contact you after the fact. So I'm going to post the winners up. It'll be on the channel. I'll post them in the comment section, in the post section, or community section. That's where I'll post the winners. And as far as the tickets go, if you don't claim them quickly, I got to find somebody else. All right. I have to, because depending on which game I pick, you're going to have to be able to go. And if you can't, we've got to get through it quickly because there's only so much time in the season, right? So, all right, you guys have a good day. Enjoy your Friday. Let's get on to another Lions victory here in Week 5 against the Bengals. I'm going to give an early prediction. My final will come out this weekend, but my early prediction, I think Eric said 33-10. Eric said 33-10. And when I look at their schedule, man, okay, so Joe Burrow went out what, after the Jags game? The Vikings hung 48 on him, and I have no idea how they did that with Carson Wentz. The Broncos put 28 on him. I would say that we're probably right in between there. And that's if Dan Campbell pushes the pedal down. So I'm going to go 30. I'm going to go 35 to. I'm going to go 35-17. That's where I'm at. 35-17. I think that the Lions should be able to win this game. I am a little bit concerned. I will say this. The first half, it could be difficult, meaning that the Bengals could hang around a little bit. I think that they could, especially if our corners are not operating. This is how the game changes for me. If we're in too much man, this is going to be a 27-21 game. If we're playing a lot of man. If we're playing a lot of zone, then it's like 35-17. And the difference is, in man, I think that we're going to get burned more often than not. In zone, we're just going to give up some chunk plays. And they're going to be able to work their way down the field. They can score in the red zone. They haven't done much the last 2 weeks, but they have the ability to do it. So 35-17. No, the last game was 35-14, I believe. No, yeah, was it 35-14? 35-14, I think. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look. I usually write them down. It's in my article. I slept, so I already forgot. We'll see you guys later, man. Go and probably go Detroit Lions. Take care.